the mindset coaching call is where we really got to dive down deep and talk about a specific subject that would ultimately lead to building up your foundation and really focusing on what Precision Protocol is meant to be. That was invaluable.
Howdy, my name is Cole Smith. I'm 24 years old and I work in the multifamily commercial real estate industry. I joined Precision Protocol and was inspired to do so after seeing some phenomenal success from a lot of my TCU peers. It was incredible to see the results and success that they were having. I started to draw some similarities between myself and thinking about what I could achieve after feeling like I hit a little bit of a mental and physical plateau after graduating school and getting caught up in the monotony of a full-time occupation. I would regularly work out and use the knowledge that I'd gained from training as a former athlete and applied that at a not too quick of a velocity at the gym, but still would find myself occasionally pushing it, going a little bit heavier. Never a regimented or dedicated schedule to working out, really just when I felt like going. I was getting a little bit fatigued from the idea of training intensely again. It seemed that I couldn't find the right time to go train or make time to train and better myself and stay healthy, which was very concerning to me because I like to say that I prioritize my well-being over everything else, but my actions were not following in suit with what I was saying. So I was inspired to find a catalyst that appeared to be sincerely working. I wanted to see for myself just what I was capable of and what the protocol was all about. Was likely talking to Coach Lamar after chatting with him on social media and just picking his brain a little bit about the program itself and getting an idea of what might be expected. And he was quick to answer all of my questions in great detail. Didn't have to sell me too hard on it because I was already dead set on doing it regardless. We set out some big, hairy, audacious goals and were able to achieve almost all of them. Really accomplished creating a concrete foundation and learned an incredible amount regarding physical training, nutrition, building better mental habits, all types of different improvements around the universal aspect of living a healthier and more complete lifestyle. I, as a former athlete, was almost always looking to bulk up and gain weight while increasing strength. Macro-based nutrition aspect really pulled me back in as we began to focus on eating with purpose rather than just being on a seafood diet where you eat everything that you see. So actually applying effort in the kitchen to build mental fortitude at the gym or while training was really the crux of the macro-based nutrition aspect. You don't have to be accurate down to the grain of rice, but anything's an improvement over housing 2 pizzas any given day. So actually taking the time to structure out and plan out your meal plans throughout the day, weighing out your food, counting your macros, really was half the battle and made all the difference, if not the entire battle itself. I learned some better recipes, some cooking techniques, honestly best practices in the kitchen that would lead to ultimately better performance in the gym, better performance outside of the gym, and just becoming a more well-rounded human being. Really the level of granular detail that you can get into any particular movement while you're training, actually applying an acute focus and having purposeful and efficient movement while doing so. As a former powerlifter and Olympic weightlifter, I knew that technique was absolutely imperative in order to move heavier weight, and this was a little bit different in that we're mostly focusing on the timing and kind of repetition structure. All the weights and everything else will follow along with maintaining excellent form. I think that I wanted to approach this with complete humility and really start from scratch and blank slate, becoming open-minded after thinking that I knew a great deal about weightlifting. But I was absolutely humbled by the amount of detail and intricate and complex workouts that Coach Lamar had created that absolutely kicked my butt. It was a really fun, eye-opening experience. My strength gains were incredible. I at one point weighed in excess of 230 pounds, but it was mostly very bad weight, and I was able to achieve some really impressive numbers. But what was more eye-opening and impressive than that was being able to hit those same numbers nearly 50 pounds lighter. And I think that was a testament to actually eating healthy, focusing on my body rather than kind of a shotgun approach. We always talked about wanting to be a sniper, not a duck hunter.
But the mindset coaching call is where we really got to dive down deep and talk about a specific subject that would ultimately lead to building up your foundation and really focusing on what Precision Protocol is meant to be. That was invaluable. Taking that time each week to really check in and be held accountable on doing your homework and coming ready to discuss in great detail with Coach Lamar was absolutely fantastic. He was always open to discuss any other questions or ideas that came to your head outside of the current topic for the week. But I really looked forward to and really enjoyed talking to Coach Lamar on those mindset coaching calls to get ready for the week, get ready to go out and attack. I had done some testosterone testing via blood kits before. The testosterone kit that Coach Lamar had provided was also extremely quick. It shipped directly to your house via saliva and came back and was really seamless to use with Everlywell. So it was really cool to monitor that and check in where I was at before and after. The fasting protocol was something that I was definitely a little bit nervous about. I would typically do some intermittent fasting just via work and kind of skip breakfast and fast until lunchtime, which I was perfectly fine with. But kind of getting into those later afternoon hours, it started to get a little bit more challenging and started to weigh on you a little bit heavier as those hours ticked by. But I think that in sincerity was the main point in case, other than the physical benefits of fasting, was just the mental training of telling yourself you don't need something just because your body and your mind tells you you might. As a matter of fact, I think that's one of the big reasons why we're unable to achieve a lot of things that we want to do physically and mentally, is we have to break down those barriers and those signals that are telling us no when we actually indeed can. And again, Coach Lamar's fasting protocol really emphasized that, really case in point example, how to train your mind to be able to overcome any feelings that your body may have. The sleep protocol was, I'd say, one of the larger takeaways from the entirety of the protocol itself. I had a very sporadic sleep schedule prior to undertaking Precision Protocol, and I had always verbally said that sleep was very important, but my actions likely said otherwise. I tended to be a bit of a night owl, threw away a lot of traveling, really had a messed up sleep schedule. So taking the time to actually focus on my own sleep, set a schedule, get my circadian rhythm in check, one of the most rewarding experiences that I had really set aside during the protocol. I monitored it all with a wearable tech. I was able to track my REM sleep and the quality of my sleep, and I cannot emphasize enough, when there was purposeful effort applied towards achieving quality sleep, everything else followed. I felt mentally sharper, my body performed better, I felt better. I think a lot of people negate quality sleep and prioritizing sleep over reading that last page of a book, watching that last video or Netflix show. The trade-off is always worth it. The sleep will make you feel better, perform better, everything else will follow. I just feel like a much more confident person because of completing the training exercise. I think that confidence was really derived from not only completing a pretty tough challenge, but actually setting aside and having the opportunity to focus on myself and building up really what the person that I am trying to become in the future. I think that this program was certainly an excellent catalyst in not only the discovery aspect, but also the execution aspect of taking the first steps towards becoming that person that Coach Lamar helped me kind of draw out and reanalyzing really what I'm trying to do here during my time. I would tell them to take some time to sincerely think about your schedule and be ready to make some sacrifices that will ultimately be for the greater good of your own personal health and your mental well-being, and not to mention the physical aspects, but really take a moment to pause and think about some of the things you're gonna have to tuck away and put on pause for a little bit that otherwise possibly don't matter as much as your health and achieving the person that you really can become if you put your mind to it.